Donald Trump may be sitting in the White House, but it's becoming increasingly clear he's not the one steering the ship. Sure, he might have a say in the music playlist or how the Rose Garden looks, but when it comes to real policy and decision-making, that's another story entirely. Now, while Donald Trump continues to post and speak with his usual intensity, new information suggests that many of the major moves and controversial decisions coming out of his administration are being executed by his inner circle, often without his full awareness. And recently, a surprising leak appears to confirm that his own team may be using his declining focus and attention to push their own agendas behind the scenes. We're going to break down that story in detail, including how it was exposed and why it's causing serious backlash within his base. But before we dive into that, I'd like to highlight how some leaders, like Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and California Governor Gavin Newsom, are responding to these challenges and standing up against what they call dangerous and unlawful actions from this administration. They've both spoken out powerfully. Take a look at this clip.
We saw those images of people descending from helicopters in the dead of night, armed, masked men. Give us a sense of what you're dealing with specifically on the ground in Chicago.
The only invasion or mayhem that's occurring is happening because the Trump administration is visiting it upon our city. Middle of the night, Black Hawk helicopters, ICE agents rappelling out of this military helicopter down the side of this building. It has about 130 people in it. They were targeting a few, but the 130 people had their doors broken down, their windows broken. They took innocent people out and zip-tied their hands. Children, I might add. And a number of these people were U.S. citizens and others were legal residents of the state of Illinois and the United States of America. And yet they were held for hours.
It's important to remind people at every turn that Donald Trump's political power is fading. That's the message Democrats should be emphasizing with every move he makes. Because the truth is, he's losing in court. He's losing public support, and he's failing to lead. He can't negotiate an end to the government shutdown, which most Americans already believe is his responsibility. Donald Trump isn't strong. He's struggling. He's ineffective. He promised to fix a broken system, yet the only changes we've seen have benefited himself and his inner circle. From questionable financial dealings to policy decisions that put self-interest first, this administration continues to operate in its own favor while everyday Americans are left behind. And it's not just at home. That weakness shows on the world stage too. Donald Trump has tried to project power through bluster and bravado, but he's discovered that shouting doesn't earn you respect or results. It's why he's failed to achieve the kind of international recognition he's always chased, including the one prize he's always wanted most. Let's take a look at what he had to say about that very topic.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. A very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me though. I think she might have. She was very nice, and I've been helping her along the way. They need a lot of help in Venezuela. It's a basic disaster. So, and you could also say it was given out for 24, and I was running for office in 24. All of the transactions that we did in terms of closing, but. There are those that say we did so much that they should have done it, but I don't take. I'm happy because I saved millions of lives. Many.
The so-called Peace Prize. Yeah, Donald, I'm sure they did call you up and say that the Peace Prize was really yours and that you deserve all the credit and everything Trump does is amazing. And you're dating a girl who goes to another school and actually she lives in Canada. It's all I need someone, though, to point out the fact that Donald Trump says that he's ended 7 8, 9 wars. Sure, lie about that all you want, Donald, but you haven't brought peace to our country. You are not domestically focused on peace. Donald Trump carries out more political violence than any president we've ever seen within this country every single day. He is purposely ripping families apart to instill fear in black and brown communities. Jesse Waters said this on air. He loves the stories of American citizens being ripped from their homes, from their cars, from their families, and sent to foreign torture prisons. He said this on air because it scares people. Donald Trump and Jesse Waters want you scared because they're disgusting and sick, and they'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. They want you living in fear, and that is political violence. There is nothing peaceful about that. But the plan, how that is being orchestrated, is not being done by Donald Trump, and that was just exposed right here. Trump target begs president's family to stop letting aides take advantage of his dementia. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker believes Donald Trump's calls to have him arrested come down to the president's declining mental fitness. In a Wednesday Truth Social post, Trump called for Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson to be jailed, while accusing the pair of Democrats of failing to protect ICE agents. The president was angered by legal challenges from local officials to block the deployment of National Guard units to Chicago amid ongoing protest over ICE raids. I do not expect to be arrested, and the President of the United States says a lot of crazy things. Pritzker told the Daily Beast podcast from the New Republic, playing into reports of the 79-year-old president's alleged cognitive decline. The governor urged Trump's family to stop letting his aides take advantage of him. I genuinely think there is something wrong with him. I wish that his family would intervene, because I do think he needs mental health help, and I don't think anyone around him that works for him is going to do that, because they're benefiting from his failure of mental health, his dementia. Pritzker said, "I wish someone would help out the President of the United States." This led the White House comms office to freak out, with spokeswoman Abigail Jackson saying Pritzker's family should intervene to get him a dietitian. Pritzker separately said on X on Wednesday that he will not back down in response to Trump's post. Trump is now calling for the arrest of elected representatives, checking his power. What else is left on the path to full-blown authoritarianism? It is also important to note that recently, Stephen Miller said on CNN, "If I put federal law enforcement and National Guard into a nice, sleepy southern town, is anyone going to riot?" Someone pointed out the fact that Miller said, "I." This all comes as recent reporting in Rolling Stone alleges that Stephen Miller is the one running things in the White House, and everything that people suspect Donald Trump is doing is actually being carried out by Stephen Miller. We've now heard multiple reports from inside the White House suggesting that senior advisor Stephen Miller is the one truly driving policy decisions, not Donald Trump. And recently, Governor J.B. Pritzker said out loud what many have been quietly thinking. This is happening because Donald Trump appears to be struggling with serious cognitive decline. Meanwhile, there are leaders like Governor J.B. Pritzker who are standing up not out of personal interest, but to protect their citizens. Earlier, he spoke with Rachel Maddow about the disturbing influence of Stephen Miller and the coordinated attacks coming from within Trump's inner circle. Let's take a look at that conversation.
Let me ask you just first about this call to your fellow governors around the country. What are you asking them to do here to support you?
Well, let's start with we should stand as one against the idea that Donald Trump has the ability to call up our National Guard against our will. I want to remind you that just last year, Joe Biden tried to call up National Guard, federalize them, to take Air National Guard and move them into the Space Force. And all 50 governors signed onto a letter, including, I might add, Greg Abbott from Texas, saying that it was improper for the President of the United States to call on governors to either send their National Guard or to federalize the National Guard so that the President could use them however he wanted to. Now, this year, of course, Greg Abbott is a tool of Donald Trump. He's his lackey, and he is, in fact, doing exactly what Donald Trump wants and going against exactly what Greg Abbott said he would do last year. So this is a problem. The National Governors Association, under Governor Stitt from Oklahoma, who's chair, seems unwilling to stand with the rest of us governors, Governor Kotek, Governor Newsom, and others, to prevent Trump from taking our National Guard, federalizing them, and then using him either against us or against other states.
More Democrats need to sound like Governor J.B. Pritzker. Strong, direct, and focused on real solutions. We need to start talking about crime and safety on our own terms. Let's talk about community safety, not fear. Let's talk about investing in after-school programs, providing mental health care in every community, and making sure that help means more than just a police response when someone calls 911. Every situation is different, and every community deserves thoughtful solutions that actually work. People deserve to be treated with dignity, with compassion, and with care, not just reactionary policies that fail to solve the root problems. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's idea of leadership is to send in the National Guard and call it a day. That's not a solution. It's a headline, and it shows exactly how little he understands or cares about the real needs of everyday Americans. This is the message Democrats need to carry forward. We care, we invest, and we build safer communities through solutions that uplift, not divide. We're going to keep talking about it right here on this show. If you want to support that message, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and if you stayed until the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.